Cristiano Ronaldo has officially joined the group. Craig Burley and Stewart Robson alongside me to reflect on Portugal beating Uzbekistan by 5 goals to 0. Ronaldo with a brace, Nuno Mendes with a free kick goal as well. An own goal plus a late strike from Rafael sees Portugal thrash Uzbekistan to mark their first win of this World Cup. Only one place to start. Both of you said Ronaldo
hold on.
Both of you said Ronaldo's past it. He shouldn't even be at this. Shouldn't even be in the squad. Yet here he is getting a brace in style today.
He shouldn't even be in the squad. Some people in this studio are going to have to eat humble pie.
Well, I think I'm looking at both of them.
Who is it? Me? No, I did.
Yeah. All right, we're both guilty.
You said to drop him. You said to drop him.
Yes, and I said, we said he's not going to be dropped because Roberto Martinez won't drop it, so they have to change their style of play to suit Cristiano Ronaldo, which means they've got to have more dynamism in their front play. They've got to pass it forward quicker. They've got to get more crosses into the box, which they did after the first 2 or 3 minutes. They played at a much higher tempo. If Ramos was playing in that position, would he have scored
Ramos
the goals?
couldn't have done that.
Yes, of course he could have done.
That was a great finish for the
But then
first.
it was
a good first one. Was a really.
No, listen. This is brilliant for him because you just know that what's happened thus far in the competition.
Yep.
Messi with 5 goals, hat-trick in the first game, Mbappe scoring, Haaland scoring goals. You just knew back in that hotel, wherever they are, it was killing them.
Yeah.
It was because, you know, there was a lot, and he would have seen this talk, and it wasn't just us. Other outlets were saying maybe Ronaldo can't do it at a World Cup, but it has been a question that we have asked, and I think rightly so. But today he's put that to bed, certainly in the group stages, but it was Uzbekistan, so there was a lot of space. Portugal played a lot quicker. They made a couple of changes. Their passing was quicker. It was much more forward thinking. They utilised the space a lot more. So they were 100 times better than against DR Congo. But Uzbekistan were very, very poor. But you just know Ronaldo is absolutely delighted because if he hadn't gotten particularly if they'd scored 5 today and he hadn't scored, with everything else that's going on at this World Cup, that would have been absolutely eating away at him. Now it's not, and I'm sure he's a very happy chappie.
I'm sure he's a very happy chappie indeed. Whatever you think of Ronaldo, he doesn't hide.
No, he certainly doesn't. And his movement for the first goal was good. I mean, it didn't have to be big movement, but he just started to go towards the goal, then just stepped away. The pass from Cancelo was absolutely, I think it was Cancelo or Neto, was absolutely perfect for him. But he still had to show good technique because the ball bounces just in front of him, so he's got to wrap his foot around it, he's got to go over the top of the ball. And I would also say the second goal that he scored, he showed enough pace. I mean, he's not quick now, but he showed enough pace to run in the right area. The ball was played into the space, he got there first, and it was a good finish. He rolled it past the goalkeeper. As the goalkeeper went one way, he rolled it in the other side. So credit to him that he finished those two when he had the chances.
Through gritted teeth?
It was through gritted teeth, yeah. No, what I'm saying is he is a good finisher. But I don't think... I want more from a centre-forward. If I was a coach or manager, I'd want more from my centre-forward. You're not going to see it against Uzbekistan, but you're going to have to see it in other games. And we saw it against DR Congo, where he didn't play well enough.
It helps when you get your best player. He's not your best player. I'm not talking about Ronaldo. I'm talking about Bruno Fernandes. I was thinking, well, he's their best playmaker. Probably, you could argue he is, but then you've got Vitinha and João Neves, who are just brilliant midfielders.
Nuno Mendes was brilliant as well.
Mendes is fantastic. And to be fair, you'd have lost money if you said Mendes was going to take that free kick.
I know, absolutely.
So he was prepared.
Do you think Ronaldo knew
maybe
he was going to take that free kick?
Yeah. I think it was set up by an amazing Scottish set-piece coach, which Portugal have. Who obviously they had a very good set-piece goal for the corner later on.
An even better one in the second half.
Yeah, Ronaldo almost got his hat-trick.
The one where it could have been a penalty when the keeper came out, but Ronaldo got the shot away. It was really well worked. It was almost one of those where the other team just switches off and they think they've got a bit of time. And when Bruno Fernandes clipped it over the wall, he clipped it brilliantly. I mean, you're probably only going to get 5 out of 10 of those, Robbo, right? Because it's such a difficult skill set. So there was lots to like about Portugal today, but Bruno Fernandes getting him in that number 10 role, getting him on the ball more, because he was a bit like Ronaldo. He was invisible against DR Congo. And all these sort of flair players and playmakers, they were sort of strutting their stuff today, and that'll take a little bit of pressure, or a lot of pressure, off the Portugal manager.
Because in the previous game, because there was no running in behind, they could squeeze up, so there was no room for Bruno Fernandes. Because the fullbacks played so well today and was so high up the field and making dynamic runs. Cancelo down one side of the field, Mendes down the other side of the field. João Felix coming into the team that added a bit of quality in terms of creativity. It just meant that Uzbekistan played deeper, and once they start to play deeper, that's when Ronaldo comes into play, because he is still a good, from the 6-yard box to the penalty spot, still a very good
There is a very good stat that we can steal about Ronaldo.
I'd like to hear it.
Which is now the player that scored the most goals in World Cup history, I believe, without ever scoring in the knockout stages.
Right.
So that's my point being is, if you watch Portugal in qualifying and in the Nations League, when he's banging goals in, and Robbo and I talked about this, when they're playing maybe a Latvia or a Liechtenstein or countries like this, and they're running up 6 and 7 goals, which they have been at times, he's in amongst it. But what that would tell you about certainly the World Cup in latter years is that the knockout stages, he's found the step up at his age a little bit difficult when they're meeting better teams.
We described it in a cricketing terms as a flat track bully, where, you know, in cricket, you hit the bad bowling all around the ground, and when you come against good bowling, you're not quite so good.
Right.
And that's what we're saying about Ronaldo over the last few World Cups, European Championships.
But that question's not there about Messi.
No.
You know, it's not there about Mbappe. It still is around Erling Haaland, because Norway haven't been to a World Cup in a long time, and, you know, that's nothing to do with him. But those two players have delivered in the knockout stages of a World Cup, the first two that I mentioned. Ronaldo has not. And the question is not, has he ever been good enough to do it? Of course he has. He's been one of the best in the world. The question is he too old now to do it? And it's a bit like the US national team and how they're doing at the World Cup. We're really going to find out when it gets to the 32 and the 16. And I think that's exactly the same with Cristiano.
You could argue that supporting cast that Ronaldo has this time round is better than any other World Cup squad.
But is the timing bad for him?
Right.
Because 7 or 8 years ago, or 10 years ago, when he was early 30s, don't forget he's in his 40s now, even at early 30s, that is difficult. 10 or so years ago, that would have been much better for him. Don't forget they won the Euros in 2016.
Yeah.
I think he went off injured very early in that game. But I'm talking about World Cups here. And you're right, the supporting cast on the face of it is very, very good, very talented, can create a lot. The big question now is he still got enough in the tank when it gets to the 32 and the 16 and maybe beyond that to the quarters?
Well, in the 32 and the last 16, the opposition are going to be higher up the field, so you need your centre forward to link up the play. You need your centre forward to run in behind. Against Uzbekistan, you don't need that to happen because the wide players are doing that. The midfield players are making all the space. Uzbekistan are dropping deep, so that doesn't come into play. Against the very good teams, to build your play up, you have to go into your centre forward at times, which I don't think he can do at the moment, or he has to run in behind, which I don't think he can do. So that's why it may be more difficult, or it'd certainly be more difficult against the better teams.
But let's stay positive.
No, well, we discussed on yesterday's show, I talked about where would you put Argentina in like the rankings so far of what we've seen. And I think you and Shaka agreed, Frank, you had France, Argentina, I think maybe England were there.
Yeah, Spain was below them.
And Spain was below then. Where do we put Portugal in that? Because that's a really good starting 11 when you look at it.
I think we should put them in that mix.
Yeah?
I think we should
just below France and Argentina?
Yeah. Well, for example, if Portugal were to play England tonight or tomorrow, it's a hard one to call.
Very much so.
Even though, you know, it's a hard one to call. It's maybe the odd player here or there. So I think they're in the mix. The big question is whether they can get it right at the right time. Argentina's been a little bit of a surprise. And look, there's a long way to go. It's always going to be super difficult to retain any title, never mind a World Cup. So to come in and do it again and start the way they have and defend the way they have as well and still support Messi has been, I think, very encouraging for them. I sense the World Cup might have been a little bit more difficult for them. Maybe it will when it knocks on a little bit. But the fact that he's still able, Messi that is, to go and do it. He's 39. We're talking about Ronaldo, he's early 40s. He's 39 and still been able to go and do what he's doing is incredible. He does it in moments. You'll see times in a game he sort of walks around, he's not doing a lot. He's saving himself. He has to do that. He can't be running about here, there and everywhere and be expected to create these moments of magic. But the fact that he's still creating these moments of magic at his age in this Argentina side, I think it bodes well for them going forward in this competition.
Going
Going
back
back
to
to
Portugal, Robin.
I'd put them in the top 4, just above Spain at the moment.
Right.
But we saw a similar sort of performance to the Spanish one over the 2 games. Spain in the first game, too slow, passed it too often, not enough penetration. Suddenly they come out for the second game. We're going to play high tempo. We're going to get the fullbacks forward. We're going to get crosses into the box. And they wrap the game up very early. Portugal did exactly the same. Against any team in this World Cup, Portugal will probably dominate possession because of those midfield players. But against the very best, will they be able to dominate possession high enough up the field to cause enough problems?
Do you start Ronaldo against Colombia?
Well, you have to start him now. He's just scored 2 goals.
He's proved you wrong.
I wouldn't say he's proved me wrong.
Hey, do you know when we were watching the game, right? And Ronaldo put a couple in.
You think, well,
I could just sense it was ticking away.
It's not.
It's going to be like rubbing everybody's nose in this.
Yeah.
We'll get our own back, Rob.
Yeah, we'll get our own back. No, but I don't see it like that in terms of, I would say he wouldn't have been a problem to me if, as a manager. We'd say, would you pick him for this game? Would you pick? Because I wouldn't have had him in the squad because I still want my players to be athletically good enough. If you did the fitness test on him, I bet they don't even do fitness tests on Ronaldo because they won't put the stats up.
Who needs a fitness test when you're scoring goals like you did today, Robbo?
But there's got to be more than that in a centre forward. Against Uzbekistan, it's OK. When they play the good sides, will he get enough chances? Will he be quick enough? Will he be sharp enough? Will he be able to link up the play to just make Portugal a good side? Or will he be the player that lets them down?
But it's still encouraging, isn't it? Come on, you got to have some. You got to have some part of you that's pleased for him because, why wouldn't you be pleased for Messi and all these other guys scoring goals? And it has been a struggle at recent tournaments for him, and Fernando Santos benched him. He was a big discussion at the last, I think, European Championships about his performance or lack of. And so for a guy that, whether you think it's a bit him or an ego, whatever, it doesn't matter. For a guy with that talent, that longevity and the desire to turn up as often as he has for club and particularly for country, to see him get off the mat today while his peers are doing the same is actually, I think, quite pleasing.
Yeah, it's cool.
Rather than sit here, I know we've talked a little bit about, well, what will it look when we project forward? What will it look like when he's playing against?
Enjoy the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, I know we've done.
We're all enjoying the moment, Dan.
When he's playing against 2 centre halves that are a lot quicker and a team that are better and the back 4 that squeezes the game and all that sort of stuff. I know we've talked about that, and those things are true, but it is encouraging to see a player who is still clearly able to do some damage at a World Cup, and he's done that today. So that kind of puts that to bed for a little while at least.
The problem we have now in world football at the moment and this World Cup, and it's some of the commentators' fault, some of the pundits, we just talk about several players. The World Cup's about Messi, it's about Ronaldo, it's about Kane, it's about...
That's sport.
That's sport.
No matter what sport you follow,
but in the end,
the big names.
In the end, it's about the team that's going to be the best.
Yeah.
Some of the other players are doing a lot of good work to make these players top-class players or score goals. So they need to be talked about as well.
And that's why I think it was a little bit encouraging that he was a bit of a dummy for the Nuno Mendes goal.
Yes.
Maybe...
Be careful, that could be a headline. Ronaldo is a dummy.
Maybe a tournament or 2 ago, he wouldn't have been as
humble,
liable to let that go. Particularly after he just scored previously, not that long before. But he was quite happy to use himself as, well, everybody, including the goalkeeper, it's going to be Ronaldo to take it, so we need to set for that. And they allowed Mendes to come and take it. That being said, even with that, the keeper should have threw a hat on it, which I kind of think sums up Uzbekistan's performance. But still, he was that player that was going to be the sort of dummy runner or a dummy free kick taker that allowed Mendes to score. And I don't think he'd have done that 4 years ago, if I'm being honest.
Still one more game to go in this group, and we'll be live with you to reflect on DR Congo against Colombia. ESPN FC live tonight. We are midnight on ESPN 2.